So I just want to make this crystal clear. Before I get married, and this is to my future husband, before we get married and you don't know the basics about me and we have been together for some time, if you don't know my favorite color, my choice of style, what I like to eat, how I like my steak made, who I can't stand, what gives me the bubble guts, what makes me cry, what makes me laugh, what makes me happy, if you don't know these things, before our marriage, I'm going to question you. I will be giving you a pop quiz a day before we say I do. If you get any of these questions along the lines wrong, our marriage will not go through, because it's no way in hell we spent this much time up under each other. Because in my mind, I believe that me and my spouse is going to be with each other all the time. If we're not at work, we're going to be with each other. So these are things that we should know about each other. This is the basics. This is what makes you like this person. So if you don't know my likeness, we won't be getting married. And if you don't know me as your girlfriend, you won't get to know me as your wife.
Damn, that was scary. Wow, I don't get to know you as my wife? Oh, I'm so terrified. Welcome back to Richie Rich Abroad. I am your host, Richie Rich. Today, bringing another video to you. This time, the tests women have before they're willing to marry you. Let's get into the video, but first and foremost, before we do, let's make sure you hit that like button, the subscribe button, and hit the notification below so that you get our next video as soon as it pops off. And don't forget to leave your comments at the end, because we love reading your comments. Let's get into the video without any further ado. Ching, kick the intro, and let's get it cracking. Rolling by trike. Here we go.
Do the math.
No, you said the first one was
because men got confused.
Nails.
Yep.
Nails. That's $250.
Yep. $250 to $275.
I'm gonna take the low end. $250. And the hair is what? $4?
Hair. We taking the low end.
Yeah, take the low end.
Let's say $700 for the wig.
Okay.
$500 for the wig. It depends.
Let's do $500.
$500 for the wig.
Okay.
$300 for the install.
What? That's different.
Yes.
Parts and labor?
That does not come with the wig.
Okay.
These hairstylists want their money.
100 for
the
that?
install.
Hold on. Y'all getting ripped off, baby. I'm getting ripped off. What? $800 for that. Where are we that you are convinced that you have to spend $800 to put something on your head to look like an aesthetic that Sexy Red told you was cool, while she was also talking about how her booty hole's pink or whatever. Her other shit is brown. Whatever the goddamn lyric is. For this.
This is a part of self-care day. Oh, beauty supplies. That's a store run by itself that costs about at least $300 for beauty supplies. When you go to the beauty supply store, every woman spends in between $100 to $300 at the beauty store. Everything's high.
That's at least $1,000 a month that you could utilize to invest in yourself for the attainment of a new skill. It's at least $1,000 a month that you can take to invest in the mortgage on your house.
I hear you. MTR, I hear you, bro. I hear you. There's no way in hell. There is no way in hell I would pay $700, $800, $1,000 for your beauty so you can look cute. For what? You're a strong, independent woman, ain't you? Then you get your ass out and get yourself a job. It's not my responsibility to make you look beautiful, to pay for all of that. You must be crazy. You've been around way too many simps.
Shit, that's an extra $1,000 a month to even invest in your children. Get them in an extracurricular activity. Invest into their skills, a college fund, something. But this is what you choose to waste it on. No wonder there's black men that choose white women. You also want me to select someone that has at least $1,000 maintenance bill for frivolous shit each and every month. But wait a minute, the video's not done yet. Let's keep going.
Things high.
Taking the low end, going to 200. Okay. Whew, it's getting up there. What else?
Restock.
Restock what?
Restock. Women go and do restocks on their self-care days. restock whatever you need. Deodorant, perfumes.
So that's what, like $50?
No. Deodorants, perfumes, feminine care, all that stuff. That's going to run you about $200.
Mind you, this lovely young lady is breaking down the cost that she believes that a man should pay for when entering her life, when getting in a relationship. But instead of taking that money and legitimately investing into the accumulation of that knowledge, she will waste it on frivolous material things or vanity. For all of my ladies that watch content like this, if you glorify this type of behavior versus real self-investment into oneself, then you are part of the problem.
It's hard for me to believe that there are women out there who have men paying $1,000 a month for their nails, their hair, that hair. $1,000 a month for their nails, their hair, their beauty products. You strong, independent women, how come you ain't paying for that? If you that strong, that independent, shouldn't you be paying for your own shit? That's all I'm saying. But you know what? There's always going to be some suckers out there. There's always going to be some simps out there that'll keep paying for that'll fall for the okie doke and be paying for this shit because they want to make their women happy. Marriage tests my ass. Because if that's the test, I failed, and you can keep it pushing.
I think y'all got to realize that a hyper-independent woman is a defense mechanism from a woman depending on people who are not dependable. And because she actually relied and was dependent on these people, was submissive to these people in some form or fashion, whether it was mental, physical, spirit, and financial, they let her down to the point where she said, I can only depend on myself. It's only one or too many times you're going to get your car repoed or your house taken, or you getting evicted, or you losing your job or getting your lights turned off.
Why are you getting evicted? Why are you losing your job? Why are your lights getting turned off? Why is your car getting repoed? I keep asking myself this question. If these women are strong and independent, why is all this shit happening to these women? I'm not getting my lights turned off. My car's not getting repoed. I'm not getting evicted. If you that badass woman, if you that boss, why that shit don't happen to boss bitch? If you that bad of a woman, why is that shit happening to you? Anyway, we'll keep it going.
Or going without before you realize that if I depend on myself, I'm reliable and I know I'm not going to go without. I'm not going to allow myself to be in a predicament. Why? Because it's scary. It's very scary depending on a person.
I agree with all that. I just don't think if you're a strong, independent woman, you need to be dependent on a person. Choose wisely, vet carefully, and pick that man that you can depend on, right? If you picking Pookie, Ray Ray, and Chad from the club, I don't know, but I just don't think they're necessarily going to be there when you need them. I'm just saying.
She's not wrong. In what she's saying is that these women become hyper-independent because of past trauma and pain they haven't solved for. I would also add on to that there's also a culture that surrounds them that promotes them to be hyper-independent. You know, the I don't need a man culture. Be all you can be, queen. You don't need no man. What you dependent on a man for? But what these women have to understand is that your past trauma is not the next man's problem. So while I understand, you gotta heal from it.
Especially depending on a man that said that they are dependable and they're reliable. They're gonna say all of these things. You guys say all these things when you're not needed at the time. Everything's good right now. Relationship great, but now the woman has lost her job. She got laid off unexpectedly during a transition in her life. Can she rely on you when she needed you? When the time comes, are you able to step up? And a lot of people are failing and then getting mad at us as women for being dependent and relying on ourselves to make things happen.
So the man more often than not is going to be stuck within the relationship with someone who don't want to be there no more because he did get fired, because he did face a hard time, because the man is supposed to be the leader and the protector, had his back up against the wall. And now because you're in a state of flux and confusion, you have less opportunity or time to be in your most feminine state, feeling protected. But what you're describing is the privilege of being a woman. Men don't have this privilege.
When I relied on you, you didn't make it happen. When I called you, you didn't come through. When I needed you, you didn't pull up. So why would I keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result?
Well, let me tell you, if you're getting fired from your job, if you're getting evicted, if you're getting your car repoed, if you're getting your lights turned off, you won't have to worry about calling me because I ain't going to be nowhere around because I'm not women who are getting their cars repoed and getting evicted from their homes or getting their lights turned off. So I don't know. I don't really have an answer for you because I'm not going to be in any kind of relationship with any kind of woman who's going through those kind of issues because that just tells me she's not the kind of woman for me. Period. Vet carefully.
I was unfaithful.
So you were married to your husband, but you were having children with other men.
I was, and he raised them as his own and knew them to be his own until the divorce. He ended up unhoused. And the first man that I had the affair with is now my boyfriend, the father of my first child, my son. And he was my husband's assistant manager.
Fellas, this shit can happen to you if you don't vet carefully. Don't get sucked in by the cute girl with the game, with all the words, with the riz. Don't get sucked in by that. This shit can happen to you. Keep listening.
So he started bringing this guy around, and I made the first move. Of course, I feel like I just sensed his kindness. I mean, still to this day, this man that I'm with is the kindest, most patient man I've ever met. But one day he came over my house without my ex-husband there, and you know what happened next. And we only saw each other once a week to do this because of how my schedule, my ex-husband's schedule, and his schedule. But the second affair, who the man is the father of my daughter, he actually worked with me this time.
Notice how she's laughing about it. She thinks it's funny. 2 affairs while she's married, has 2 different children from 2 different men. She's looking back, recalling this, and she's laughing about it like it's funny.
Right. He was my maintenance guy at my leasing job. Again, just another kind man who was nice to me. And then with my daughter, she's Hispanic. So she came out a little more tan than the both of us. And just as she grew up, just kept that tan skin.
People overuse the word toxic, but someone who is truly toxic. Because this woman is crazy. This is the kind of sociopath you can run into if you ain't listening carefully, if you ain't watching carefully to what they're doing and what they're saying. You can get caught up in somebody like this that will literally ruin your life. Vet carefully. Next clip.
One way to really tell if a woman truly loves you is if she spends her time and her resources on you. If a woman does not like you, she's gonna try to get as much out of you as she can without spending any resources at all whatsoever. She could be disguising it as, well, you need to be the provider. I should just bring myself. I am the table. Just because you're on all fours does not make you the table. The second thing to remember is, I know this might sound a little bit crazy, but if she gets on your nerves sometimes to what you do and the things that you can do better, sometimes that is our way of showing that we really do love you and want to encourage you to be better. But speaking on behalf of all women, we do need to understand how to talk to men a little bit better. Now, the last thing is, if a good woman truly loves you, she's going to value the things that you say and stand on. She's going to listen to your thoughts, respect your decisions, though she might not agree. Always aim to treat you with kindness and love. A good woman knows what a good man feeds off of, and balance is key. If you want a masculine man, you gotta be a feminine woman, and not just when you feel like it.
But let me also add on one more as well. This is what I've seen from my field studies. You know that a woman loves you if she's willing to take accountability for when she's been wrong. She does not value her ego or her need to be right over truly looking at her actions and accepting responsibility.
Boom. MTR is absolutely on point with that one. That is, to me, that is a great bar for measuring how your woman feels about you really. Does she respect you? Is her need to be right more important? Is her ego more important to her than her respect for you, than her talking to you the right way, than her treating you the right way, than her giving you her time, her efforts, her resources, her energy in a positive way? To me, that's the bar. Next clip.
So I just want to make this crystal clear. Before I get married, and this is to my future husband, before we get married and you don't know the basics about me and we have been together for some time, if you don't know my favorite color, my choice of style, what I like to eat, how I like my steak made, who I can't stand, what gives me the bubble guts, what makes me cry, what makes me laugh, what makes me happy, if you don't know these things, before our marriage, I'm going to question you. I will be giving you a pop quiz a day before we say I do. If you get any of these questions along the lines wrong, our marriage will not go through, because it's no way in hell we spent this much time up under each other. Because in my mind, I believe that me and my spouse is going to be with each other all the time. If we're not at work, we're going to be with each other. So these are things that we should know about each other. This is the basics. This is what makes you like this person. So if you don't know my likeness, we won't be getting married. And if you don't know me as your girlfriend, you won't get to know me as your wife.
And I think what's deeper than this is that this is a nagger, or she wants to control so many different things to come out to this fairy tale, to this picturesque, what she believes. And she's doing it in a disconcerting way, already complaining to the man in her life that she has yet to meet. So while she thinks that this is value add and beneficial, you're telling men, stay away from me because I'll never grant you peace. These are the type of women that will delusion themselves into singleness and a cat farm in the future. I mean, this all just really just seems like high school shit, right? Like, let's say that he did forget your favorite color. Who gives a shit? There are so many more important or meaningful things in life to be focused in or get mad at or nag him on the very small things. This man that you have all these expectations to is carrying the world on his shoulders. How dare you try to nag him with unpeace about what's your favorite color?
About stupid shit. Just stupid shit. This woman, MTR said it pretty good actually, but this woman is a headache waiting to happen for you. For the man who picks her, yeah, she's pretty, yeah, she's good looking, I'll give you that. Can't take that away from her. But this woman is a headache. She's living in a fantasy Disney world where everything works out just the way you think it should, and you live happily ever after, there's no problems, everything. She's a control freak. Baby, it is not going to go down that way. I'm just trying to tell you. And you are going to ruin relationship after relationship, trying to live this fantasy life that does not exist. Every relationship has its problems. Every relationship. That's the end of the video. So you get to see some of the tests some of these women have, and a test that maybe some of us dudes should have too for those women. If you like the video, let me know. Leave your comments below. You know I read those comments every single time, so be sure to drop yours too. And if you like this video, for sure, you know I got other videos that you're going to like too, that are just as good, just as interesting, and sometimes even better than this one, if you can believe that. I'm Richie Rich for Richie Rich Abroad. I'll see you in 2 more days. Until then, deuces.